whole Jimmy Kimmel situation that is happening right now.
Yeah, wild.
Very wild. Okay, first of all, the FCC is, you have to have a license to broadcast, which is kind of crazy when you think about what that means now. Because, like, what does it mean? It used to mean that you used to have a license to broadcast because you were going to influence so many people. They had to make sure that you were on the up and up, right? So they had to make sure that you didn't swear. So if you had a license and you were on CBS or NBC or ABC, you could not swear, right? That was the rule. And then along came cable. And somehow or another, cable is a different thing, right? Because cable, you have to pay for it, I guess. What's different? And so then some of the channels you don't have to pay for. It used to be the only ones that swore were like HBO, where you had to pay for. And then all of a sudden it became kind of any of them because they realized, like, hey, we don't, like FX, we can swear, guys. Like, we only don't swear because we want to think of ourselves as TV.
Right.
But HBO was like, you know, with The Sopranos, with HBO comedy specials, in the beginning that was a big one. You could just swear. Movies, you didn't have to bleep anything out, just wild. And so these, what you're dealing with even, like, first of all, I definitely don't think that the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can or cannot say in a monologue. That's fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
Now, if the problem is the companies, if they're being pressured by the government, so if that's real, and if people on the right are like, yeah, go get them, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy for supporting this because this will be used on you. You don't think that the fucking globalist lizard people who run the world are sitting here going, great, what do we got, 3 years? We'll wait this out. We'll wait this out. Yeah. Let them say the government should be involved in censoring people's speech. Yeah. Let them support that. Let these fucking dumbasses, because Jimmy Kimmel's a leftist, let these dumbasses think it's a good idea and we should celebrate that.
That's the most toxic shit I keep seeing online, where people are like, yeah, shut them down. Now, this goes into a lot of, just to jump back, what you said, you just brought me back in my mind. Like, I remember first watching Married with Children, and I remember, like, because they were like a racier show for TV.
Yeah.
And I remember the shift, and my mom didn't like that I liked it. And she was like, what do you like about this show? I was like, they talk like people we know. It just kind of sounded like someone so what TV started to do, it started to sound like your actual community instead of this very, you know, kind of this veneer of everyone kind of speaks very cleanly and politely. Married with Children talked how you heard a guy talk, how your dad would talk or your uncle would talk.
Yeah, it was like one notch in a different direction above like Archie Bunker.
Right.
All in the Family was like one of the first shows like that, where the dad was kind of an asshole and a racist.
He was so funny, man.
And funny.
Yeah, he was so funny.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. The hiring process can be absurdly time-consuming. Like when you're looking for a new doctor, you spend hours searching. When you finally feel like you found the right one, it turns out they're not accepting new patients. The same thing happens when you're hiring. You scan through hundreds of resumes, you find one you like, only discover they aren't actively looking for a job. Well, good news for all you hiring managers out there, your search looks a little less frustrating now thanks to ZipRecruiter. And bonus, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter has added new tools and features to help speed up the hiring process and save you valuable time. They can easily connect you with qualified candidates in minutes. They also have a wide pool of talent to choose from, and it's continuously growing. Over 320,000 resumes are added monthly, so you can reach more potential hires. Use ZipRecruiter and save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. So then you have that, and then it keeps going further and further and further until you have the internet. And the internet is just buck wild. And the internet you can't do anything about. Look, I certainly think that for Jimmy Kimmel, all this does is help him. Yeah. It makes his show bigger, much more support. I'm sure there's a lot of hate as well, which is not fun. But at the end of the day, if the show comes back, which this is my suspicion, My suspicion is they suspend it for a short amount of time, and then they bring it back, and then there's a lot of lawyers going back and forth in meetings and rooms, and somehow or another it gets worked out that he has a show. He comes back to a standing ovation. Donald Trump tweets mean shit about him, and then the world moves on.
This show still sucks. It still sucks.
I think that is also fucking insane. I don't have time to do that. How do you have time to do that? How do you have time while you're running the world to be tweeting that you don't like talk show hosts?
Yeah.
That is so
crazy.
Crazy.
He was going after like Letterman too for some reason. Like he posted something about
because Letterman went off about him, and Letterman said it was a criminal organization. You can't support in any way, shape, or form the government censoring speech.
No.
Because once they start doing... It's just like, you shouldn't be on ABC anymore. It's like, don't go on AM radio. It's not worth it. Like, why do you want to have an AM radio show? Like, if somebody offered me an AM radio show, and I'd be like, really? Is it a good deal? Yes, it's a good deal. It's a wonderful contract. You're going to get health care and all these benefits and this and that, a 401k. But you can't say this, you can't say that. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Like, this is 2025. Why would I do
well, you
AM
used
radio?
to want it. You used to love it. I think that's what. Well, that's what they press on the old days. But I think the problem is, look. When I was a kid, I was fascinated with Carson and the idea of the Tonight Show. He got pressed a lot of why he didn't express his political beliefs.
Right.
And he often, I mean, there's a clip of him that everyone's probably seen where he says,
it's a great clip.
That's not my job. And I don't know if he said this or I heard this somewhere else, but someone had said something to the effect of, the job is to put America to bed at night, not give them nightmares.
The thing is, though, he existed in a time before social media when people hadn't lost their fucking minds. And this is the problem, is that Hollywood in particular they're in a fever pitch of, if we don't get our ideas across, if we don't promote our ideas, then the other side wins. And it's become this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy on both sides. Like, everyone is in this fucking fever of war, of like a culture war. And a giant percentage of it is being manipulated by these overseas bots. Like, I retweeted this thing a couple of days ago because I was like, people need to see this every time it comes across my feed. I'm just going to send it to them. What you see when you see a bot farm, so there's bot farms that have essentially an unlimited number of social media profiles, and they just go after whatever subject it is, whether it's climate change or an election or even sports, and all they're trying to do is get people to hate each other. And this is a bot farm, and someone wrote, what is this? See the caption? It says, so this guy, Andrew Fox, wrote this. It says, want to know what Dave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, 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 is, who it is you're arguing with online most of the time, who's liking those pro-Hamas posts, and it's that. And it's a TikTok that he put
Who's
up.
sponsoring, who's funding these bot farms?
Many, many countries are doing this. China's doing this for sure, Russia's doing this for sure, but Iran is probably doing this for sure, Israel's probably doing this for sure, we're probably doing it as well, we're doing it to them, we're all doing it to each other. That's 100% real. And this is another creepy aspect of AI that was exposed fairly recently. Some accounts got suspended because they realized that the CCP was using ChatGPT to run these kind of bot farms. So you have this thing and you can tell it how to behave, and I want you to pretend that you are an unhinged leftist that wants to kill all white men, and then get in there and argue. And then the right-wing people are like, oh my God, these fucking leftists want us dead!
Right.
Strap up! And then you have like this Charlie Kirk incident, and then everybody starts to really believe it now. Like, yeah, they want us dead. And then you see the response. You go, oh my God, people are going along with, like, people are losing their morals and their ethics, and they're cheering that someone got murdered on television. Because they're all ramped up with this social media bullshit, and a lot of it is being amplified by people that aren't even real people, and a lot of it is just getting everybody in this fucking fever pitch of culture war.
Right.
And that's why you're seeing these young kids cheering. Did you see that TMZ clip?
Well, I've seen a bunch of these different clips of people like going off.
Did you see the TMZ thing where they find out that the moment they
you hear
find
people
out,
cheering in the
you
room?
hear people cheering.
I did see that. Yeah.
The moment they find out Charlie Kirk is dead,
They're clapping.
cheering.
He's dead, and they're clapping.
But this is not just one person. There was a guy who was at the scene. At the scene, they have. Look, I just want
The
to
guy
say, I'm not
cheering.
pro doxing people. I'm not pro any of this, but this is just what's going to happen. You know, you cheer when a guy gets shot, and you can see the guy who got shot. You're in the general vicinity of this guy, so a bullet whizzed over your head, shot that guy in the neck, and now you're cheering. Good luck finding a job.
Yeah.
Right? And this is the reality that we're living in, right? So, but why is a person reacting like that? People wouldn't have reacted like that 20 years ago now. It's not a normal thing for a 20-year-old kid to do who's in the audience of some college thing where, you know, change my mind or whatever he says, whatever his slogan is. But that was what Steven Crowder would say, like, change my mind.
Yeah, I don't know what his was. I think
Something similar. But the point is, it's like, this is the weird shit that happens on social media where people behave in this insane and vicious way that you would never experience like this commonly in real life. And it's more ubiquitous online than anywhere else in most polite social circles. But all the same people that are in these polite social circles with you they're feeling vindicated and saying the most evil shit. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Rest in piss. I saw this lady who was a NASDAQ lady. She worked at NASDAQ, and she was at a conference. And she's like, we're pausing the conference to say, fuck Charlie Kirk. Like this well-dressed lady with a very high-profile job. And then it said, rest in piss. Like, oh my God. Like, what is that? Well, that's social media infecting your mind and getting you to do things and say things in a way that no one would have done 20, 30 years ago. No one.
No way.
No way. And so this is like all boiling up with this Charlie Kirk thing and this Jimmy Kimmel thing. The Jimmy Kimmel thing is, unfortunately, I think what he was trying to do was just set up a joke. He was trying to knock on the MAGA people, but also set up a joke, which was good. It was very funny. Like where he showed the president's response to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
like,
the new ballroom they're building.
and he said like the fourth stage of grief is construction.
It's a fantastic joke.
And he also said that's not how a grown adult reacts to the death of his friend. It's like a 4-year-old mourns the loss of a goldfish.
Yeah.
Very funny.
It's a great joke. He was trying to set it up.
Yeah.
But
He set it up in a way that, like, okay, you're saying something that's actually factually inaccurate according to the narrative. Now, let's be real clear. I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
First of all, there was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? Took his pants down? This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombing.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place. And then he did this at this thing. Right after, so somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did. Then, ready for this? He gets arrested for child porn right away.
Right after this happened?
Oh, right away. He's in jail for child porn. Why is that? Well, now you can't interview him.
Right.
And because when the internet people start going, how are you at all these different things? Like, what are the odds? Like, if someone ran it through one of the ChatGPT fucking perplexity things, like, what are the odds that this guy would be at all those different events and be involved? Like, 0.
This is the guy.
Yeah.
I just like that the pants down part is just insane. It's like, why is your dick out?
I'm not saying,
I did it.
Listen, I'm not saying this guy isn't insane. He's clearly insane.
Yeah.
Or not. Or he's professionally insane.
Right.
That's where it gets squirrely.
I almost texted you when the Charlie Kirk thing happened.
Because my antennas went up about, they showed the photo of that kid, the guy that they have, 22-year-old, whatever. And I was almost going to be like, dude, you think he's got the capability to do that?
Yeah, well, listen, there are people that look like that have the capability to do that.
Pretty accurate.
Nope,
No?
not hard. Not hard at all.
Hard.
Let me dispel that. Okay. 200 yards from a prone position with a dead-on rifle. So if you have a dead-on rifle, so you set this rifle, you set your 0 to 200 yards, right? You know how far you're going to shoot. It is not hard at all.
He shot a lot?
You don't have to shoot a lot.
So
I could do it tomorrow.
If you're but you are experienced. If it's someone that's never shot, could they do it?
100%. Not if
Really?
they've never shot, they wouldn't know where to look. They'd have a hard time acquiring the like when you look through a scope, like the reticle is weird. Like it's sometimes
Takes a minute.
You got to know the distance that you have to be from it to really line it up in your sights. But you could get a guy like my friend Andy Stump, who was a sniper in the SEALs. You could get him, and he could show you how to do it in an afternoon, and then you could hit steel at 200 yards every time you pull the
One
trigger.
day you could learn.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, not that hard.
Because it feels insane to me. I'm like, that
No.
seems tough.
It seems tough. It seems tough. We still haven't figured out whether or not the gun that shot Trump had a sight on it, because we weren't sure if it had a sight on it or if this guy was using iron sights. That was 140 yards. If you shot it with iron sights, that's a lot harder. Because iron sights is you're lining up, so you have these two things in the back and there's one thing at the front of the barrel, and you
Right.
got to line those bitches up perfectly, and that's how you stay accurate. That is a lot harder to do.
It's like
than
old
a
shotguns have those, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
pistols.
Yeah,
like
pistols
you
got
buy a
them.
Glock,
Yeah.
that's what it comes with.
Right.
But this kid had a rifle with a scope. Now here's where it gets weird. The first images of this rifle with a scope, I swear to God, it looks like he has a composite stock on it. Like it looks like a modern 30-06 rifle. So a 30-06, so that's the rifle. 30-06 is like, that looks like a very modern looking stock. I mean, it might not be. It might be just a bad resolution. It might be wood. It's hard to tell. But if you showed me that and you said, hey, this is my cousin's rifle, is this any good? I'd be like, looks like a standard bolt action rifle, looks like a sophisticated modern scope on it, sure. Now apparently, the narrative is that this is his grandfather's rifle from World War I and doesn't have a serial code. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Why? Wait. Why are you using such an old gun? Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, is it possible that an old gun can be that accurate? If you have a gunsmith and they work on it, yeah, it's totally possible. If you have a really good gunsmith and he sets, if you're like a nostalgic person, you like driving an old car, you can bring it to a mechanic, they could redo the brakes.
Sure.
So if you got a good gunsmith and he took a look at that and the action was true and, you know, the bore is good, you know, yeah, you could conceivably shoot with a gun for hundreds of years, right? Guns don't necessarily go bad.
Right, they don't expire.
Right, you know, especially because all the stuff like the trigger and the action and all that different stuff is replaceable. So you just like it's compartmentalized. It's components. That's the other thing. They said that he took it apart and then put it back together again. Shut the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a
To
gun.
disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not gonna fit.
Not gonna fit in the backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof. What? What's
That's
that
what
about?
Is that what they pitched, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other problem. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Every game is another chance to cash